First at 11, a survivor of sex trafficking in Metro Atlanta is speaking tonight about how she got out.
The rain has moved out. Now the cold air is blowing in here, prompting a freeze warning for North and West Georgia. And that's not the last freeze warning for the weekend.
And a suspected animal abuser is on the run, but we're learning it's not his first run-in with the law.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. starts now.
I'm just now getting comfortable with speaking on it. I just want a voice. I have a voice.
Tonight, a story of survival and perseverance. A 15-year-old's runaway who found herself being sold to dozens of men for sex by a man who found her on a dating app.
Human trafficking is a major issue across the metro. Tonight, a young woman who survived is sharing her story with us for the very first time. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn sat down with this incredibly brave woman. So, Cody, how did all this unfold?
Well, I got an Instagram message last month. In fact, it's right here. It was a screenshot of my report from one of the men who bought this young woman for sex being convicted. The message read, you can see, I am the 15-year-old being sex trafficked, and after my case, I would like to tell you my story. Well, last week, the man who sold her to dozens of men was found guilty. Tonight, the story is no longer about them, and it's a story you'll see only on 11 Alive. She was just a child.
I was a runaway.
In 2018, at 15 years old,
I don't know my way around Atlanta.
she quickly found herself online like every teenager.
I ended up being on basically like a dating profile.
She posed as an 18-year-old, and it wasn't long until her inbox was filling
He was
up.
basically selling me fake fantasies of him being my boyfriend or us being together, building like an empire and stuff.
When in reality, it was a predator grooming his next victim.
Me being young and not having a father figure, it's like I can't really tell if a dude is trying to use me or if they really want to be with me because I never experienced that love from a male figure. So I was just that person follow for it.
Less than 2 weeks after meeting on a dating app,
The same app I met him from, that's the same app he was selling me off of.
it continued on for several months.
I was given beans, which have like multiple drugs in it. Me being on those, I wasn't really here. Like physically I was here, but mentally I wasn't here.
She believed she was sold to at least 50 men.
I told him that I don't want to do it anymore. My body can't take it. My body was very messed up badly to the point where I couldn't even walk.
It would be one of the buyers who showed up for sex who got her out.
He came and he noticed something was wrong. He told me that to get my stuff that he's going to get me out that situation. And that's how I really got out.
An escape she never thought would happen.
It looks easy to run and get away, but in reality it's not.
Shortly after getting out, she was arrested. Finally, her chance to tell police about being sold and bought for sex. But nothing happened.
I felt like nobody believed me.
She wasn't far off.
I thought people was just having a hard time trying to find me because I was in foster homes and I was in group homes too. So I thought it was just hard for people to find me. But it wasn't that.
Her case was actually closed by local authorities. In 2021, the Attorney General's Human Trafficking Prosecution Unit reopened it and prosecuted it.
I just got my closure at court. I'm happy now. I'm really happy.
She's incredible. This is absolutely heartbreaking because she's just one of so many teens being sold and bought for sex right now. It's why we cannot turn our heads when we hear about runaways. They're running from something. And if we don't find them, these predators will. It took this man 1 week to groom, lure, and sell this child for sex.
Absolutely eye-opening. Such an important story to tell. Cody Alcorn, thank you. You can follow Cody's original report for the story right now. Just head to 11alive.com.
A rainy end to the week, but our chief meteorologist Chris Holcomb is here now to tell us about the colder air that's moving in for our weekend.
Yeah, we're beginning to feel that move our way right now. The rain is gone. You can see here not a lot of green showing up. We had that rain shield that came over us earlier that gave us really about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain today. That has all now pushed well to the south, and that's where we're seeing the rain now. We're drying out in metro Atlanta and North Georgia, but it's that northwest flow that's bringing the colder air our way, and we've got a freeze warning in effect, not for the city of Atlanta, but for areas just to the west of us and also to the north of us. This is the area where we think we'll see freezing temperatures near freezing here in the morning. We don't think we'll hit freezing south and east of us, but we have another chance of doing that, though, by Sunday morning with a freeze watch that's in effect for Sunday with even colder air coming in for the second half of the weekend. So look at these temperatures tonight. We're at 50 right now. We'll drop into the 40s in the next couple of hours and then into the mid-30s here by tomorrow morning. When those clouds move on out, it's almost like taking the blanket off of the bed. All that warm air escapes, and it's going to be getting cold overnight. Stay with us. We'll talk more about the additional freezing temperatures for Sunday morning, lingering into Monday morning, too. We'll let you know when we'll finally warm up in the 7-day outlook.
Chris, we'll see you soon. Thank you. All new at 11, the search continues tonight for a man accused of beating a dog to death. Doorbell video caught him Sunday at a DeKalb County apartment complex, but court records now show this is not the suspect's first run-in with police. 11 Alive's Dawn White joining me here in studio with some new info. Dawn, you're learning tonight?
Well, that's right, Joe. DeKalb County Police, they say that they are looking for Mekhi Jackson. A criminal background check shows he was previously charged with 3 felony counts of aggravated assault, as well as 1 count of possession of a firearm during a felony.
What happened in this doorbell camera video has shocked and angered many animal lovers.
It's appalling.
The video is graphic, so we're showing photos. It shows a man chasing and hitting a dog and then throwing it against a wall.
From what I can see in the video, there's no justification. The dog's trying to get away from him. The dog's not attacking him. This is just a brutal attack on this dog.
Cobb County Animal Services Director and former animal cruelty investigator Stephen Hammond believes the dog suffered a painful death.
That's a horrible death. I mean, this is not a small dog. He didn't just pick it up and throw a little dog against the wall. This was a medium to large sized dog. That was hell for that dog.
Right now, DeKalb County Police are looking for this man, Mekhi Jackson.
Without that video, and if you didn't have an eyewitness, it would be hard to prosecute this because you just wouldn't know what had actually happened. But with this video, there's not much doubt left.
Hammond says he could spend years behind bars if convicted.
Absolutely, aggravated cruelty to animals, which is a felony in Georgia. That can carry a 5-year prison sentence.
Investigators say if you see Jackson, do not approach him. You should call 911 or DeKalb County Police.
So, Dawn, we heard from Hammond there. He has a lot of experiences with these kinds of cases. What did he say is crucial for prosecuting these sorts of animal cruelty cases?
We said there are certain things that can be done, and that is important for police departments to give specialty training for animal crime so the correct evidence is collected for prosecution.
Dawn, thank you. Attorneys tonight for former Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill are appealing his conviction just days after he was sentenced. A judge sentenced Hill to 18 months in prison and 6 years of supervised probation. A jury found him guilty on 6 of 7 federal abuse charges after he ordered inmates to be held in restraint chairs for hours as a form of punishment. We reached out to Hill's attorneys to see what they expect from the appeal. We have not yet heard back. Tonight, a man is heading to federal prison for the next 2 decades. He confessed to opening fire on 2 stores in Jonesboro, trying to murder minorities simply out of hatred against them.
The conviction and sentence is some comfort for survivors who tell our John Sherrick they want to feel safe in their own communities.
He can show you evidence of this hate crime.
But what did you hear? Bang, 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 bang.
Lorenzo Lambert remembers vividly escaping this blizzard of bullets, and now he is relieved. The white gunman who opened fire here at Terra Boulevard and Mount Zion Road in Jonesboro back in 2021. And at another store a quarter of a mile away, trying to kill minorities. That gunman, Larry Foxworth, has just been sentenced to 20 years in federal prison after confessing he committed federal hate crimes.
That's a good thing. Maybe he'll learn something while he's in there.
This is a busy corner of Jonesboro.
It's right there.
Victor Amaya sets up here every day with the food truck. Says the shootings rattled this melting pot community of minorities. And even with the gunman going to prison, Amaya says, everyone is still on edge.
Well, nobody really knew exactly why they were doing it. We all thought it was a targeted thing, but we didn't know what they were targeting.
Now you know.
Now we know.
What do you think of what you know now?
Well, I'm glad they put them away. So it'll take a while for us to get comfortable again, in the sense of us feeling safe around here.
The FBI's latest numbers show hate crimes in Georgia were up 22% from the previous year. Lorenzo Lambert says his friend who was working in the store, who the gunman was trying to kill because of her race.
Yeah, she just had a baby about 2 weeks ago.
He hopes the gunman hears that. In Jonesboro, John Sherrick, 11 Alive News.
A Georgia man who served time for his part in the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol now wants his guns and ammunition returned. Cleveland Meredith Jr. was arrested soon after the insurrection. Agents found he drove hundreds of miles to D.C. and brought 2,500 rounds of ammunition and 2 guns with him. Meredith was released from prison in December. In filings obtained by 11 Alive, we have learned that he is now asking the court to release the firearms and ammo seized during his arrest back to his attorney so they can be sold. Tonight, we are getting a new look at where public opinion sits on the planned public safety training center, frequently called Cop City. The poll commissioned by professors at Emory University found a nearly equal split between overall support and opposition. But the poll of roughly 800 people was evenly broken down between Buckhead and non-Buckhead residents. Among those living in Buckhead, support for the training center was nearly 2 to 1, while there was a slight edge in the rest of Atlanta to those against it. There was also a split on the issue in terms of race. A majority of white poll takers backed the training site, while slightly more black residents don't support it. Coming up in sports, reaction from Greensboro as Kennesaw State's trip to the NCAA tournament comes to an end.
And next on 11 Alive, allegations of voter suppression surface ahead of a crucial election in Metro Atlanta.